Hi everyone, welcome to BCTV. I'm Colleen Richardson along with Bill Jennings behind the camera, and today we are on the road. We are at New Hampshire Motor Speedway for the Formula Electric Hybrid Competition. So let's get right into it. Hi Tom, thanks for having us here today.
Welcome to New Hampshire Motor Speedway and the Dartmouth Formula E and Hybrid Competition for 2026.
Well, that's a mouthful. Tell us, what is the Formula Hybrid Electric?
This is a gathering of engineering schools. Again, all the kids that are out here are undergraduate engineers, either mechanical or electrical. And for one of their projects, they build a race car from scraps, from beginning to end. They look at the angles, the welds, the gusseting. The wiring is hugely important since it's hybrid or EV. And today we have 31 teams. Two of them are hybrid, which means they have a gas supplemental engine, and all the other ones are electric.
Now, you've been part of this for 7 years. How has it grown?
It's interesting, we have seen a transition from mostly hybrid vehicles over to almost exclusively electric vehicles. Last year we only had one hybrid, everything else was electric. So that's been the biggest transition. The enthusiasm of the kids, the interest, the passion they have, men and women, they're all into it big time. And they don't get a big prize for this. You know, get some credit maybe at school. Some schools do give them credit for their engineering class. Others are just club teams from MIT or Harvard or Kellogg or wherever. They're all across the country.
And what do they really learn by doing this?
Well, they demonstrate their engineering skills with design, electrical, and mechanical, because we're going to put these cars through a pretty rigorous technical inspection where we measure everything. We have to make sure they're, first of all, safe. One of the exercises they'll go through is escaping from the car in 5 seconds and standing next to them. We put a stopwatch on them. If they can't get out in 5 seconds unstrapped, they don't go on the track. So safety is a very important thing. We have a crush zone in the front of the car in case they run into something. We have to have 13 inches of a foam composite so it doesn't break their feet. There's different sizes for the roll bars. We have templates for the firewall to make sure there's enough space between the back of the seat. So it goes on and on and on, but safety is the main thing. And then tomorrow it's supposed to rain, so we're doing a wet test today where we'll take the cars outside of electrical inspection, turn 3 hoses on and spray them down. Nobody's in the car, but all the switches are on. If any of those lights flicker, they're not going out on the track. They're not going on to any more inspections either because we don't want to get them shocked.
Well, there's really a lot that goes into this, a lot more than I bet that people realize. How does this help them prepare for their real-life careers?
One of the things they do while they're here is they have to defend their design and the whole project management piece that they did to build these cars to a panel of engineering professors. So there might be somebody from Dartmouth or MIT or wherever, an unknown panel that will be reviewing them, and they have to defend their presentations. And they get challenged. You know, why did you use carbon fiber here instead of fiberglass? Why is that gusset 3 inches instead of 2? Isn't it supposed to be 1.6 millimeters over here? So it's pretty intense, but it gives them a little of the marketing presentation too. Because Tesla's here, some other electrical engineering companies are here. These are the engineers of tomorrow. I think some kids in the past have gone to work for, I forget which car companies, whether it might have been Ford actually, but this is a target-rich environment for recruiting students that you want to come to your company.
So tell us, Tom, what happens in the acceleration and the autocross?
Okay, after they get through their electrical, mechanical, and brake tests, we put a sticker on for each of those stations. We'll do an acceleration test on the front straight of the speedway. And that's just to see how fast we can get them to go. And there's a little bit of scoring there to judge who's the fastest. Everybody wants to be the fastest, of course. And they'll go back to their pit, and if you've noticed, the computer's all hooked up to them fine-tuning things. Then they'll go to autocross actually this afternoon, which will be down in turn 3 and 4. And we had the SCCA here, the Sports Car Club of America, yesterday, laying out the course, which is pylons. And the cars will go through there and go for time. Now, we don't let them go wheel to wheel because they aren't licensed race drivers. So there's one car on the track at a time for safety. and they'll be timed, and if they hit a cone, they have so many points deducted. You'll see when we get down there later today, the teams just thrive on it. It's really fun. That's kind of like the big ending. And then tomorrow is the endurance test, where they'll run 40 kilometers. On the other end of the track, we'll block off a piece up on the hill and see what the times are, how many laps you got in 40 kilometers. You can change drivers in there, so that you've probably seen them practicing getting in and out, in addition to the safety aspect, changing drivers. And that'll be the final event of the weekend. And again, today, they'll be doing some more. I think the final two teams in the presentations will be this afternoon.
Tom, we were lucky enough to be invited by you to come here today, but this is like kind of a best kept secret. Can you tell us a little bit more about it?
It is a hidden gem. Dartmouth handles the event here, and they do the promotion. They actually hired a staff person to help promote through Dartmouth. It's the best kept secret in that it's free to the public. You can come in the garages, talk to the teams, and the teams are all excited to talk to you. They want to come up, talk about the great car they just built. There's food here to purchase, but it's all open to the public, and you'll get reinvigorated with the youth of today when you talk to these young engineers and what they're like. They're so personable.
And we had the opportunity to meet one of those enthusiastic students, Ian Quinn from the University of Akron, who shared how he and his fellow engineering team members prepared for this year's competition and the excitement leading up to the big event. Tell us a little bit about what you're doing here today and your experience with that.
Well, this is my third year on the University of Akron Formula student team. I am the steering lead and the main driver. The Formula student team here at Akron, we are one of the legacy teams. We debuted in 1987 in the combustion car. We've been running an auxiliary electric team until 2024 when both of them merged together. At that point, we made our first hub motor car, and then this is our second hub motor car. It's a vast improvement over the year before. We dropped 100 pounds to about 430 or so pounds. We're running a 590 volt tractive battery system with active torque vectoring on all four wheels. You may not see it now because New Hampshire doesn't run them, but we have a nice aero package, and the car is a carbon fiber monocoque tub. So it's a layer of carbon, layer of honeycomb, and a layer of carbon on top. It's a very light chassis, a very stiff chassis. You can mount suspension points everywhere you want. So it's definitely an optimized system.
So how long does it take for you guys to prepare for a competition like this?
Well, the general Formula student is a year design cycle. So you run 2 comps in a year, New Hampshire and Michigan. You have to have a new car for every competition. Reusing of parts is not recommended, but it's allowed. But we like to adhere to a policy where we make new components for a car every year. So
you make your own parts?
Yeah, pretty much everything that is on this car is made in-house.
Been made by you guys?
Yes, very little of it. Our aero kits, all of it's made by us. Design starts pretty much after we finish each competition in the summer. In about the fall area, we have design freeze, where everybody has to put their pencils down and present their designs. Then starts manufacturing season. In about December time, we work through the winter to manufacture everything, mount it on the car, scale, take care of VD, and then hopefully a couple weeks before our first competition, aka where we're at right now, New Hampshire, we are testing and optimizing the piece.
We then had the opportunity to speak with Michael Chapman, who has been involved with the program for more than 20 years. Michael shared his thoughts on how the competition has evolved over the years, continuing to grow stronger as more colleges and universities participate each year, bringing even more innovation, energy, and talent to the event.
I'm excited to have the opportunity to talk to Michael Chapman, who's the director of the Formula Hybrid and Electric competition that we have here at the New Hampshire Speedway every year. Mike, I've known you for, I think, 7 years since you became the director, and I wasn't involved in this at all until you took things over. You've been involved in it for 20 years. What is the biggest change you've seen in the cars, the kids, the whole picture?
Yeah, I think there have been a couple of changes over the years. I mean, the first is that we have many more electric cars than we used to. In the beginning, it was hybrid only. But then about 2016, 2017, we also added the electric class. So we run both hybrid and electric. The other change that we've seen is that the cars are much more, they're a lot more technically advanced. We used to look at the cars and see a rat's nest of wires. Things are all well put together. They're well designed. Some of the cars this year, I haven't seen body work like that for quite a while. So that's really, those are the changes that we've seen.
How do you promote the event through the other engineering schools or just to the public?
A lot of it is social media. I think that as long as the students get to see on Facebook, on Instagram, on LinkedIn, take a look at what's going on, especially the videos that we have, and then it's really just word of mouth, getting the word out.
Have you seen an increase in spectators?
We have over the years. I mean, it used to be a ghost town here. It was just the students who were participating. So this year we had over 500 students. That's 25 teams worth. And then we have at least 150 volunteers. And we've had about 150 visitors so far this year. Yeah.
So where do you see the big growth opportunity for the competition down the road?
Yeah, I see there's a lot of growth opportunity outside of the Northeast. I think a lot of our teams, both from Canada and also from the U.S., are based here in the Northeast. You know, Dartmouth, Yale, Princeton, Tufts, Northeastern, MIT. We do have some folks who are usually here from pretty far away. We have the University of Victoria from British Columbia is usually here, couldn't make it this year. Dalhousie from the Maritimes is usually here, couldn't make it this year. So we're looking to expand outside of New England, but we're also looking to expand into the Americas, into Mexico and into South America.
Now, it's really a club event for the students at the different schools. At Dartmouth, how do you get students interested in joining this great endeavor?
That's a great question. And it is, for many universities, it is a club event. At Dartmouth it is, but they also have the ability to work on what's known as a capstone project. And that capstone project can be part of the Formula Hybrid competition. So motor controllers, battery controllers, pedal systems, we've seen projects like that go along. It really is different in some of the universities. Some they get course credit for, but many it's a club event. And the ability to design and build your own car based on a 200-page rule book without a lot of help after that, it's a pretty good challenge. And a lot of students like to take that on.
What have you seen in the way of sponsor contributions and getting involved from the sponsor side?
Yeah, so I think the sponsors have definitely changed over the years. It used to be Ford and GM and Fiat Chrysler were our major sponsors. They don't, for the most part, do these competitions anymore. So we've cast a wider net, if you will. We've had BAE Systems for quite a while. We've had E-Propelled. We have Motion Applied that used to be McLaren Applied for their software. So it's a lot more sponsors, smaller sponsors, and we love to have the sponsors show up. We have some that are financial. I gotta say, we have the ASME, the American Society of Mechanical Engineers, stepped up with the biggest sponsorship we've seen in many, many years, and that was this year. The IEEE has been a sponsor of ours for a long, long time. And sponsors not only are financial sponsors, they also bring volunteers to help out, because that's one of the main things that we need to keep this running.
Mike, it's a pleasure working with you. On behalf of the New England Racing Museum, we enjoy the partnership we have with you, and we just love coming here and supporting what you have going on. I've been coming since you took over, I guess, 7 years ago.
Yep.
That's about as long as my time span's been with the event, but it gets better every year. We're still as enthused as can be. These are long days for volunteers, but boy, they're energized, just like the cars are energized.
The Formula Hybrid and Electric competition is an exciting 4-day event that's well worth checking out. Best of all, it's free and brings talented college engineering teams from across the country to the New Hampshire Motor Speedway each spring. Hopefully you'll add it to your schedule next year. Special thanks to Tom Crompton for hosting us, Michael Chapman for sharing the history of the competition, and Ian Quinn from the University of Akron for giving us an inside look at what it takes to compete at this high level.